In this video, you get to see me break down one of my clients' instant dates that he went on our live 5-day immersion program. Now, in this clip, you get to see me tell him what he did good, what he did bad, and what he could potentially do differently next time to improve the entire interaction, which will give him the higher chance of actually bringing the types of women that he wants into his life. So boys, let's jump into it. Let's break down the very interesting date that you just went on. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the beginning stage of that interaction. And again, as I was saying earlier, open was dope, transition was good. You got her to, at least engage in conversation, even though she was pretty much kind of fucking palming you off at the beginning. She wasn't giving you that much, and she came up with a few excuses to keep leaving. She was even trolling a little bit, right? Because the thing is with Eastern European women, when you're in their local cities, a lot of them don't want to fucking date foreign guys because they just think that they're only here for a short period of time. So that's why she was saying, like, why are you approaching me? Like, you're probably just here to go for a drink at the pub. And you're like, well, no. And you're like, oh, okay, we're just going to go down and have a dinner in Old Town. Like, she's calling out all these stereotypes of tourists. And most guys would fumble with that, but you handled it really well. And the way that you handled it was the reason why she ended up getting a little bit more engaged. And you noticed when you started to just push through that resistance, because she's trying to walk off a little bit, her body language is all over the place. She's kind of like, no, I've got to go for dinner. I can't talk for too long, but you just kept going and just stayed grounded and relaxed and persevered. When you asked that one specific question, it was like, well, look, before you go, like, I'm curious, like, do you have a partner? And as soon as you did that, all of a sudden, that was the point that you hooked the conversation, and then she leant up against the ledge, and all of a sudden she was happy to have a conversation with you. I think it was just that little extra bit of intent. It was like, no, listen, because like when you gave her a compliment on the open, but also when you doubled down and said, like, would you have a partner, you're showing a lot of interest. And for her, I think she was just like, she just thought you were just, I don't know, approaching her willy-nilly, didn't really care that much. But as soon as you doubled down on that intent, it's like, no, I do find you beautiful. I want to see if you're single. This is why I'm approaching you. This is at least what you were communicating. She's like, oh, this is a genuine guy trying to meet me. As soon as you did that, you were good to go. But most dudes wouldn't be able to persevere through the shit that you did with her, yeah? Cool. So in terms of leading and stuff, you led straight for the date. You know exactly where you were going. Good date plan. You sat it down, you went for a coffee. That was perfect. But then as we just experienced together throughout the date, she wasn't giving much. Now, obviously, she did mention that she had a fucking migraine. So I'm going to give her the time of day in that regard. But in terms of the overall chemistry and the vibe of that entire date, it was a little bit off. Maybe it's the fucking migraine. Maybe she's just that type of woman. She said that she was very pessimistic, I think.
She did very, absolutely.
Yeah, she wasn't the most optimistic, bubbly creature on the planet, yeah? And the fact that you were able to do, I think we recorded like 40 minutes there, yeah? The fact you were able to sit in there for 40 minutes and keep that conversation going with a girl that was giving absolutely nothing, bro, you should congratulate yourself. Not many guys would be able to persevere through that, yeah? But to go back to the stuff that we've been learning this week, mate, like your level 1, 2, 3 questions, big improvement compared to yesterday's instant date as we broke that one down. Even though you got nothing, you went down the threads, you explored a variety of different topics, you got to know her on a much deeper level, you talked a little bit about your life, and also with the training that we did earlier, you remembered to go through the dating history stuff, yeah? Yes. Even though she wasn't given too much, but you got there and you were able to screen that out. So that's like the biggest bonus for me, because we did the training today and you were able to implement that on one of your dates. That's fucking, I'm stoked with that. And you did everything correctly. Like you knew the last time she went on a date, her last relationships, why they broke up, etc., etc. That's fucking dope. One thing, at least at the end of the date, as I mentioned to you earlier as well, you want to try and make sure you can get her contact details. Now, I understand you tried, and she was like, no, I'll text you. No, I'll text you. And I think we're both looking at it as like, you both didn't really have natural chemistry. And to be honest with you, man, like, I think that's a her thing, bro. I think you did fucking awesome. I think in the end, she's just a bit of a fucking, she's just a whatever, you know?
No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just the day, we'll give her that. Maybe it's just the day.
Potentially, but there's two ways you can look at it. It could just be the day, but another way to look at it too, because the whole thing about dating is, man, is like, we want to take these girls on dates as an opportunity for us to get to know them, to see if they have the value systems, the personality, the characteristic traits that we want. And you go on a date like that, and it's great. It's like, if you screen her out and she doesn't really have the vibe that you would prefer, she doesn't have the sense of humor, you're not really connecting, it's like, who gives a shit? You had 30 minutes, you got to practice the skill set, you also get to walk away thinking to yourself, like, I'm not even really sure I'd want to see her again. And that's a great mindset to have, because we want to be meeting women and literally looking at them and going, is this the type of person I want to spend my time with? And if you can identify things that you're not really that down on, and you can walk away and go, fuck that, I'm going to meet someone else. It's an abundant mindset. And that's when you start to become the buyer instead of the seller. And you can actually just start screening girls out for, you know, that natural chemistry. So I think that was just, we can walk away from that. If we weren't to give her, you know, a little bit of leeway with the headache, and that was actually her genuine personality, we can at least walk away and go, meh, next, let's find another one. And that is the definition of abundance. But anyway, back to the fucking number thing. Sometimes you can do some basic objection handling stuff on that, even though it's a pain in the ass to do this. If you're like, oh, let me grab your number, she's like, no, let me grab yours. And then you try to push on the fact that you're trying to get her number, and she keeps saying, no, I'll get yours. What you could have done is to be a cheeky fucker, is when she was typing in the number, you grab it, you put in your number, and you send yourself a text. Because then at least you can then fucking follow up, yeah? But it's not always the best sign. And look, we already know that the instant date was interesting, yeah? Nah, fuck it. It is what it is. But we can just get a bit of value out of it in terms of if a girl does that, most likely it's a bit of a sign of disinterest. And if a girl's not just going to be fucking happy for you to get the number or the Instagram or whatever, you can walk away from it and just go, oh fuck, that's probably most likely not going to convert to a number. So that way, at least when you have that knowledge, you don't sit there on your phone going, fuck, is she going to text me? Is she going to text me? Because that's the sort of, when I was younger, when I first started this stuff, that was my mentality when that would happen to me. And you get disappointed, you know what I mean? Because you're checking your phone all the time, you're excited. Fuck that shit. You can now look at it and go, most likely I'm not going to see her again, that's fine. But at least you built many reference experiences for that.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow we'll sit down, because we have 40 minutes of fucking content there. We can sit down and actually focus on all the little things you could have done slightly differently, all the little things that you did good, the improvements, and we can break it down further. But either way, man, that's 4 instant dates in 4 days. So that's also
Just
a fucking
to add
really good thing.
One thing to what
Yep.
you said there, I can come out from that interaction and say I did my best there.
Yes,
That's
100%.
what I'm most happy about. There.
Yes, and honestly, like, that is the best mindset.
Yeah.
Because if you did your absolute best and you walk away and nothing happens, it's like you have no control over those circumstances. And that's all we can do when we're doing cold approach. It's all we can do when it comes to dating and dates in general and with the women we're meeting. As long as you did your best and you know you did your best, the rest is up to the universe. So you did really good. But yeah, 4 instant dates in 4 days, and then tomorrow we'll make it a 5th, eh?
No, we'll get fucking completely, not tomorrow, we'll get fucking...
There we go, now you're getting it,
Okay.
detaching from the outcome. And then I think the really cool thing too is to add to this is you had a fucking string of rejections again, but you just keep going, you do the numbers, you run the volume, eventually you will meet someone, there's a bit of chemistry there and you can take them on a date and make something happen, yeah? So that's a really cool thing. Because like a lot of guys get disheartened when they have like a string of fucking rejections in a row, or at least interactions that don't go anywhere. So I just think from my perspective as a coach, it's like I love when clients can have that experience where they have to fucking push through a bit of bullshit, and then we just keep pushing, and you don't give up, and then eventually something's gonna happen. So in the end, the cool thing is, if you always just run the numbers, you run the volume, you will meet someone. You will meet a high quality chick. You will have the relationships that you want. You just got to put in the work and don't get disheartened when shit doesn't go your way. Thanks for watching, guys. Now, if you've enjoyed this type of dating and self-development content, specifically the behind the scenes footage from our coaching programs, then please leave a like and subscribe so you can have access to more of that in the future. And also leave a comment letting us know if you like this style of content, because if you do, we'll post more of it in the future. Now, for the guys that are wanting to improve this particular area of their life, they want to meet high quality women without relying on online dating apps or a social circle. They want to learn the art of cold approach, to have the ability to create deep emotional connections with beautiful women and have the abundance that you've always wanted. Then guys, all you got to do to inquire about any of our coaching programs where we can specifically create a personalized program to help you achieve your goals, all we're going to do is click on the link in the description to book a free consultation call with either myself, Ben, or someone from our team for all coaching inquiries. And if you want more free trainings, more guides, and also more mini courses and articles and content that we can't actually post here on YouTube, then all you have to do is click the link in the description to join our private Facebook group. So hope to see you all there. But until then, see you guys in the next video.